So in this video, I want to talk more about home inspections because that's one of the greatest sources of problems these days. Per our contract, you'll generally have about 10 to 14 days to have a licensed home inspector come in and do a home inspection. And again, I use the term licensed home inspector. It is not where you bring in a contractor or a knowledgeable person. You need to bring in a licensed home inspector who is going to follow protocols in conjunction with ASHI, which is the American Society for Home Inspectors, and they're generally Connecticut licensed, so it's very important. Now, one of the things you can do is get out of the contract if you're unhappy with the condition of the home and get your deposit back. You really have up until when we do the home inspection to terminate a deal in writing and get your deposit back. If you haven't done the home inspection, you will not have spent the money. But you'll have, like I said, 10 to 14 days to do the inspection. And if there's any problems, we will submit something to the seller. Now, if you're unhappy with the condition, if you do your inspection, you're unhappy, and you simply want to terminate the deal, as long as we do it in writing, we can do that, get your deposit back. From that 10 to 14-day period that we do anything and notify them of it, we're going to have an additional 4 days in which to negotiate anything that we'd like them to fix or give us credit for or terminate the deal. Now, that's a very important part because essentially all homes are sold in as-is condition. What you see is what you get, and then sometimes what you don't see is what you get. And home inspections, while they're important, they're not all revealing. They can't open walls. They can't see behind things. So it's very important that you understand that. But one of the other things that it's important to understand is that a seller is not required to fix anything. They're not required to give you any credit. It is customary for us to make requests of them. And I always advise my clients, it's about safety, structural, mechanical items. Very often things that if it was your home and you were going to continue living there that you would feel you would need to fix. It's not about cosmetic items, though ultimately you can ask for anything you want, but you also have to gauge how a seller might respond to that if you want to go forward with the house. If you ask for 20 little nitpick items, they're likely going to say no to you, and maybe even at that point saying no to things that we really want them to fix, like if there's a problem with the furnace or a problem with the plumbing or problem with the electrical, things like that. That's really what we're looking for, material defects in the house. But again, I want to make sure you understand that they don't have to fix anything. They can come back and say, we're not doing anything, and you have the choice of whether you want to go forward or not. And I've seen in number of cases lately where people have gone forward because, again, you have to look at big picture decisions, long term. Is these repairs, if they're minor enough, would they keep you from living there, from wanting to live there? Would you look back in a couple of years from now and say, geez, we should have done those, we should have fixed them, that's the house we wanted? So it's very important to look at that if it comes up. So that's essentially what the home inspection is all about. Let me know if you have any further questions on that. Thanks.